Hi everybody, it's Nikki from my Parrot shop. Today's a very exciting day because I'm bringing home my new baby bird. His name is Major and he's a black-headed Caique. I've got him in the background here so you can probably hear him rustling around. I just thought I would run through a few things with you about bringing home a new bird, and especially a black-headed Caique, and show you my cage setup and everything like that, so you can see him and you can meet him and learn a little bit more about him. In my decision to get Major, it took about 1.5 years of research and making sure I was getting the right species for myself, whether it would fit in with my household and my flock. So some things I considered was obviously cost of the initial bird, but also ongoing costs like toys, food, veterinary care, diet, all that sort of stuff, type of cage they need, obviously the amount of attention they're going to require, hours that I'm going to be at home able to play or entertain the bird, train the bird, all that sort of stuff. You know, what other animals I have in my house or kids I have in my house. I don't have any kids, so I've got my other birds and my dogs and that sort of thing. So I had to make sure that my bird was going to be okay in this house environment. I also did a lot of research on species, temperament, whether I could handle this kind of bird, also black-headed Caique versus white-bellied Caique, all that sort of stuff. I was initially also looking at conures and whether a conure would be better, and also what you want to get out of having the bird. Do you just want a quiet bird that's not going to make too much noise and be easy to look after, or are you after a companion that you can wrestle and play with, or are you after someone who you can train or anything like that? So my reasons for choosing a Caique was I wanted an outgoing bird that wasn't a one-person bird, was more likely to be able to interact with all members of the family, someone who I can, you know, try out new products with, take on excursions, take on adventures. I do plan on harness training him, clicker training him, and, you know, starting all sorts of fun games with him. He's only a baby for now, so we'll get settled in, and then we can start all that good stuff. Obviously, quarantine period is really important. So quarantine period should be about 30 to 60 days. I'll probably stick to the 60 days, and then we'll also do a veterinary checkup, microchipping, all that sort of stuff as well. So it's not just the cost of the bird that in the initial outlay, it's also the cost of that veterinary trip, the microchipping. He's just playing in the background. Today's the first day with him. Obviously, if you have a timid bird or something like that, this initial first day and coming weeks will be a bit tough. You know, it can take them a little while to adjust into their new cages, all that sort of stuff. But being a Caique, I still will give him the time to adjust and expect him to take a little bit of time to get to know his cage, where his food is, where his water is, play with the toys. The other thing you really want to pay attention to is where you're getting your bird from. You really want to get your bird from a reputable breeder and make sure that you can check out their facilities where they keep the birds, if you can meet the mother and the father. All that sort of stuff is really, really good because you know that they're an ethical breeder, and also they're going to be producing good birds that are friendly and the kind of birds that you're going to want in your family. Let's get him out of his carrier. So I've got him in my bedroom for the time being because of the quarantine period. And also I wanted him in a room. I didn't just want to lock him away where he's not going to interact with people. I can still interact with him in the bedroom, just separate from my other birds and everything else that's going on in the house. But he'll still see me every day and interact because birds are social. They like to hang out with you. Let's meet him and get him out of his carrier. Everybody meet Major. Hey buddy, do you want to come out? Here he is. Oh, sweetie. Hey honey. Here we go. So this is Major, everybody. I chose a boy. Oh, we got to check out the birdie in the camera. I chose a boy because of the lower risk of reproductive issues, egg binding, ovarian cysts, all that sort of stuff. Obviously males can still have reproductive issues, but it's less likely, and it's just generally safer that way. But Caiques don't really have any difference in personality between male and female, but that's one thing you do need to look at as well when you're choosing a species. Is a boy or a girl going to be better for you? I'll give you a little cage tour now. I've set up his cage and he's all ready to go, but I'll just give you a little cage tour, see what goodies we've got in there. So here's Major's new cage. I got a nice and big one for him. The bigger the cage, the better. That's what they always say. So I'll show you some of the cool toys that I've got in here. I also have the leaves for him to chew. This is a great idea. I've got a cheap kitty litter tray, just a little plastic one with some Kraft shredded paper and some wiffle balls. They have little beads I've pushed inside, so they make a really cool sound because Caiques love to play on the ground and roll around, so he'll have some fun there. So I've got a Rattler, which again has beads in the wiffle balls, so it's so much fun for them to play. I've got a swing with bling there with some fun little beads and stainless steel pieces to play with. I've got the snake eye toy here. It's got the little wooden beads inside, which is really fun for them to chew and pick at. I've got the sleep tunnel play tube here. It's got some fun plastic chains, some beads to chew on the outside, which is a great alternative for the cotton or cloth sleep tunnels, because they're much safer. They can't ingest any fibers. I can't get caught up in anything, so he'll have fun playing with that. Here I've got the medium Squidalicious that has the paper sticks, which they love to chew and demolish. Back here I have an MPS bell, stainless steel. We make these ourselves with a non-removable clanger. So he'll have a lot of fun making lots of noise for me early in the morning, I'm sure. Next to the sleep tunnel play tube there we have the Prismatic, which is made of stainless steel, and it has some fun little jingly bits for him. Back here we have our treasure chest beaded toy, which has lots of fun little beads for him to play with and nibble and hang off. What do you reckon, Major? Do you want to have a go inside your cage? Hey, sweetie? Here we are. Will you step up? Good boy. Here we go. Oops. There you go, honey. Let's see what he does. Which toy he goes to first. Oh, the leaves. Leaves are a great, cheap, easy, entertaining toy for birds. They can just rip them apart and you can replace them really easily. That's an acacia or wattle species, so most Australian species are bird friendly. If you're not sure, always check. And obviously make sure you get them from a place where it doesn't spray herbicides or pesticides or anything like that. Oh, onto the snake eyes. Oh, so much for you to do, sweetie. That's just a little introduction on Major, my new black-headed Caique. So he's just a little baby at the moment, so he will develop over the next few months, and As we get to know each other, he will, I'm sure, give me lots of entertainment and grief. But I love him so much already. I hope to post more videos on Major, including his training and his settling in progress. And hopefully you'll get to see him more often. Say bye, Major. Bye, buddy. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.